welcome to the CraveCast, minions. I'm your host, Eric Mack, and today, once again, we're talking about one of Crave's main obsessions, space. We talk about it a lot, but I've got a feature on CNET today that I've been working on for a while, and we're also going to watch part of a follow-up interview with one of my favorite astrobiologists in a few minutes. Plus, we'll talk about sex in space and the latest space-inspired games to come out of E3 this week. So it's a space show everyone can relate to. And speaking of relatable people, I'm joined today by Stephen Beecham, Jeff Sparkman, Kelsey Adams in the CNET studios in San Francisco, and also via the magic of Skype from Texas is Crave's dedicated microgravity pornography correspondent, Danny Gallagher.
Hi, Mom.
How's everyone doing?
Good. Great.
Good. Now, if you want to join in on the conversation, ask us any questions, or leave some comments, you can always tweet at us at Crave, C-R-A-V-E, on Twitter. And there's also a live stream chat room, and the YouTube chat room is going on as well right now. And as always, a big thank you to the award-winning Taos News, who loans us this T1 line for me to do the CraveCast here from Taos, New Mexico each month. And this week, my hometown newspaper has a really cool story on some local folks here that are working to help out people in Nepal by delivering lightweight, efficient stoves to the earthquake-stricken area. It's a really cool story. So check that out. And let's move right into space news. So to set this up a little bit, this is the story, if you got it, Stephen, that went live this morning on, that's the CraveCast one.
Yeah,
The exoplanet story I've been working on for a couple of years off and on now, or at least thinking about it to kind of set the scene, take you back to 2013. I went to a panel at South by Southwest, there it is, a panel with NASA folks on the James Webb Space Telescope, which is the space telescope that's going to succeed the Hubble. And all these NASA folks and these kind of smart astronomer type people were all just talking about finding life beyond Earth with these next generation telescopes, just like it was kind of an inevitability. And a year later, I made a visit to the Mauna Kea in Hawaii, where there's a lot of the biggest telescopes on Earth. Spoke to people there who kind of have the same sentiment. And so I've been looking into this over the past few years, talking to astronomers, astrobiologists, and the result is this piece that went up this morning. And we're also going to hear in just a few minutes from one of the astrobiologists that I talked to for the story, Dr. Abel Mendes from the University of Puerto Rico at Arecibo. There he is. And so there's also a astrobiology conference going on this week in Chicago. So it seemed like a good reason to do yet another space show. And so the basic thrust of the piece is basically the James Webb Space Telescope launches in 2018. There's another companion telescope that goes by the name of TESS. That's an acronym that I forget at the moment. Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite. There it is. Boom. And that'll be launching. That's in 2017 that one's launching. And then there's about a half dozen other ones that are going to be coming online in the next decade or so. And so all this basically gives us an entirely new set of hardware to look for signs of life beyond Earth. And we've been relying for a few decades now largely on telescopes like Kepler and Spitzer and Hubble, all of which are pretty much at the end of their life. Hubble was built, get this, in the 1980s.
It's crazy.
So,
wow.
I read about that time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the technology that we're currently using.
So we can't just upload and upgrade?
Yeah.
There's hardware
upload and
problems.
upgrade to...
Every time they look in the dial, it makes this noise like...
Well, that's what they've been doing to Hubble for years, is
dial-up.
upgrading it, but they have to send astronauts up there to physically do it. They can't just do it with a software update, which would be awesome.
Hubble still paying? Yeah.
Reboot
Is Hubble
it.
still paying for AOL email?
Yes. I mean, at some point, I mean, you could try to load Mass Effect on your Atari 2600, and at some point, it's just not going to work. But actually,
switching out cartridges.
Right. But the big thing really with telescopes is the size of the lens. That reflects the light back from what you're looking at. So at some point, you've just got to upload, the CPU, which in a telescope is basically the lens.
So what you're saying is size matters.
Size does matter, as I'm sure we'll get to in our second segment. uh, I spoke with Dr. Abel Mendes, and he down at the University of Puerto Rico, which has they have one of the biggest radio telescopes down there, and we're one of the first one of the first facilities to accidentally detect a planet beyond our solar system all the way back in 1992. I mean, what kind of blows my mind here and what I talked to Dr. Mendes about is in the last 20 years or so, we've gone from living in a world where we couldn't confirm more than one planet beyond our own solar system to now we've confirmed at least a couple of thousand, and we're pretty sure there's literally billions more. Dr. Mendes has actually started keeping a catalog of the confirmed ones. And I like Dr. Mendes because he's really a realist in this area. I mean, when you talk to NASA folks, they kind of have to be like, we're going to do amazing things and we're going to find this inevitably, because they're constantly trying to keep their budget going. So they have to keep excitement in the public going. But you get a good picture from Dr. Mendes. And if you've got the video from last night, I spoke with him again last night from that astrobiology conference in Chicago. And we talked a little bit about, where his frame of mind has gone from when he started this search, and which is probably kind of where I'm at right now, where it's like very exciting, and then you get into it and the reality of it hits. Here's Dr. Mendes.
And then when you start working in this field, you feel that you are quite positive that given the sheer number of stars, that the possibility of a planet just like Earth, because we have the evidence that that is possible. It's just us. So it's just finding what more. But the more you know the details of all the different things from this astronomy, or the limitation from the geology and evolution of the planet, and all the limitations of biology, just it seems harder, and it looks more like the planets just like Earth. They seem to be quite rare, so that's make it harder to discover them.
It seems like it's almost all about gambling, because the chances of there being nothing else in the vast universe seems impossible, but the chances of, like you're saying, everything being exactly perfect for complex life to form is almost just as against the odds, right?
Yes. If you look at Earth, in the history of Earth, almost 5 billion of history, most of the time has been without complex life. Only in the last 30% of the history of Earth, the thing that's very interesting, because oxygen was increased, and CO2 levels decreased, and the temperature were stabilized. Then you have the right conditions for life. So maybe if we had those conditions earlier, maybe it could happen a little bit earlier in the planet's evolution. Because evolution, it would take, but it's impressive that just in less than 700 million years, you have a large evolution of life on Earth, from simple to complex. That's why we call it the Cambrian explosion. It was so it shows you that if you have the right conditions, life will go. But the problem is just finding the right conditions seems to be a problem, and not only of time, but also of space, and something rare for to look for.
So there you go. That's Dr. Abel Mendes from the University of Puerto Rico at Arecibo. He's in the piece that I wrote that's up on Crave today on the new tools that are going to be coming online in the next decade to help us find evidence of life beyond Earth. Any thoughts or reactions, you guys?
That's cool. I mean, finally, like a scientist saying, yeah, there's probably lots of life out there, and we just need to find it. It's going to take us a while. It's very rare, but usually it's always guys saying, "No, there's nothing out there. We're the only thing here." It's that's always the line everyone toes. So that's cool. That's good
sort
to
of
hear.
an older generation, of the one that's always in movies. They're always asking science or faith.
Yeah.
That's the human only model.
Yeah.
So is he saying? Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it, Danny.
Well, I was gonna say, is he saying that, like, the first step is we have to figure out which of these planets can sustain life, and then is that enough to determine if that there is life, or do we, have to literally find someone with a "Hi there" sign on a planet?
I mean, I think when you talk to these people, they're definitely kind of trying to set expectations low because the odds are, if we find anything, it's probably going to be a bacteria, right? Like it'll be evidence of, methane or bacteria or oxygen or something that's maybe being created by some microbe, somewhere on another planet. Because what he was saying is the conditions that have to exist for complex life like humans or cheetahs or
Right.
whatever to form is like mathematically crazy, but it's also mathematically crazy that it wouldn't exist anywhere else, so this is kind of what's called the Fermi paradox. Like it must be out there, so why haven't we seen it? Well, one of the reasons might be that the scales of distance and time that you're dealing with on a cosmic level are crazy. I mean, we can't really even conceive of how large the universe is and the amount of time that Earth has taken to form. Like if you've watched Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson, he goes into this a little bit, but I mean, the amount of time that humans have existed on the planet is like nothing. So we have to not only be looking for a planet that could conceivably have life on it, but we have to be looking at it at the right moment in its history when it could be supporting
Right.
life. So
We're
it's
also
a crazy needle in a haystack thing.
about specifically what we're looking for in addition to conditions that could support life that we're familiar with. What Danny was saying, you mentioned in your article, Eric, that they're looking for biosignatures, waste products, basically gases like methane, carbon dioxide.
Right. And I mean, and even then, when you find, I mean, really, what would be kind of the home run would be to find lots of oxygen, in the atmosphere of a planet. But even then, it's not, they're like methane and other biosignatures. They can be created through processes that don't involve life. So even if we find these biosignatures, which is what we think we'll be able to do with these telescopes, then there will probably be a process of building something even more advanced to confirm that it's not a false positive or something. So it's an interesting balance of trying to be realistic and enthusiastic about it because it's still a long way to find this. However, it's crazy how far we've come in 5 or 15 years. And another thing that he talked about that I didn't include in that clip was I asked him, a lot of the exoplanets we know now can't come from Kepler, right? And so I asked him, did you expect Kepler to be as successful as it has been? And he said, we knew Kepler was going to find exoplanets. We did not know that it was going to find exoplanets so similar to Earth, with water and rocky, rocky land, and basically what you need to foster life as we know it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they're finding that stuff on Mars recently. They found methane and other kinds of gases that were byproducts of life forms, So who's to say it's not? It's closer than we think, Who's to say?
I was really surprised how soon, Eric, you were saying they were expecting to get some kind of.
Yeah, and I mean, the dates vary. One of the most Sarah Seeger, who's in the piece, and she's at MIT. She's one of the more optimistic people, and she thinks these next telescopes, with a little bit of luck, should be able to help us find some planets with oxygen in their atmospheres. And then there's a guy at NASA named Kevin Hand, who's actually put a date on it. He thinks by about 2034. That's kind of his deadline for when he thinks we should find life elsewhere. So yeah, it's closer than you think, and I like the way Sarah Seeger puts it. She's like, it could be decades, but she still expects that at some point in her life, you're going to be able to go outside with your children, point to a star, and say that star has a planet around it with life on it. Maybe it's just bacteria, but there's something up there.
Wow.
Amazing.
So it's pretty
scary.
neat stuff.
Stephen Hawking doesn't want us to find life, right? Because he's afraid they'll all come kill us, right?
He doesn't
They
want us to
would.
find fake life.
Dude,
he doesn't want us
would.
to make
No,
life.
that's
Artificial
AI.
life. Okay.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, yeah.
Okay.
Which he claims he isn't, but
Ooh.
but no, as John Oliver pointed out, he's like, how do I know if someone wanted to warn me about artificial intelligence and hide the fact that they were artificially intelligent, you would be the ideal person to hide the fact that there's artificial intelligence. And that's when I think Hawking called him an idiot, and then they just moved on.
That's it. That seems like the way that exchange should go. That seems fair.
Yeah, here's the story here,
Hawking.
written by Chris I have a hard time saying his name.
I actually looked this up on one of those how do you pronounce names sites one time and found 3 different variations on it, so I can't tell you either. It could be machistic. It could not be.
Yeah.
Well, while we're
I
on the
call
subject
him
of what's that?
I call him Chris.
Yeah, that seems to work.
Yeah.
On the subject of life, we could get to the more traditional way of creating life. And Danny, you had a piece recently about another effort to
Terrible segue, no offense.
to do something in space.
I'm sorry, but porn has
that's
literally
okay.
nothing to do with. Anyway, go on.
That's okay. I'm about to bring this whole thing way down anyway. So with my story, because I love how we started with this. Oh, there's life on Earth, and now porn in space.
Well, we were talking about bacteria. Boom.
Heyo.
Yay!
I'm sorry.
There you go. That's how you do a segue. I'm kidding. Earlier, no, it was last week. I'm sorry. Apparently, a website that I'm told offers free porn called Pornhub
He hears.
is launching an Indiegogo campaign to film the first adult film in outer space. Oh, and hi, Mom.
Crowdfunding.
They
Journalism.
call it. They want $3.4 million, or they say they need $3.4 million to film the first outer space adult film that they've called Sexploration, which
That's weak.
yeah, come on, you couldn't do. I came up with the upright stuff.
See, that's good.
Feel free to add your own hashtag.
Jeff has some. Sure.
No, I don't.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Let's get him out of the way now.
I was just
That's also
pitching.
what she said.
I was just pitching
by
my
the way,
idea
I
to
have-
Jeff of a crowdfunding site just for porn. Anyway, carry on.
I think there was one like
I
that.
think there must be
Uh,
one.
I can't say the name.
Yeah,
but,
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why I was typing it.
But it rhymes with Kickstarter.
That,
I assume
that should be a thing.
I assume this is
So-
a family podcast.
So these are our
I'll-
astronauts here in the video.
Yes, they're what are their names? Eva. God, they don't even try anymore.
Eva
with the names.
Lova,
Eva Lovia or Lovia.
Lovia, and Johnny
I'm not
Sins.
sure if that's the Christian name. Johnny
that's a-
Sins.
Very biblical pair.
Oh, their name's right there on the thing. Yeah, and they're sitting on. I came up with I think the greatest porn name of all time. Where was I described it as they were sitting on the set of Cosmoist: A Spank Time Odyssey, starring Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'll leave.
I thought Apollo
So-
XXX was good too.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, so they want. I just can't get. They want 3.4 million just to go up in space to see if they can act badly. That seems like a little bit.
Well, like how much
mean,
is
I
going to the plot?
Yeah, exactly. Like I want to know how much is going into lighting, script, make.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
want to know about
that's-
zero gravity. Isn't that the big question?
Right, and I think they're with this case. I mean, I don't know if they're going through like Elon. I hope they're not going through Elon Musk's.
At least not literally.
Well, they're not going to get the
'Cause I-
deposit back.
But I assume they want to do more than just go up in the. I don't know the technical term, but the vomit
The
comet.
vomit
plank.
yeah.
They want to actually go into space. To which space sex is awkward enough.
It's gonna be
It-
difficult.
Yeah.
When it happens to me, at least I always say to myself, well, things could go bad, but at least I have gravity. That's my plus. I don't. Go ahead.
God, I've got so many things. I can't.
Yeah, I'm sure you have plenty of questions.
I don't think it would
I-
work.
Well,
I-
like physically, like, don't you need like blood flow going in a certain direction, and there's no gravity in space, so
well, and
There is-
just
there is
physically,
a
there's
weight
like
issue.
Newton's laws are like things need an equal and opposite
yeah.
reaction, and you're
Mhm.
gonna either there's gonna be nothing to. There's problems of thrust. Let's just put it that way.
That's also that'd be a better name.
Yeah, it would.
And also, I haven't checked this today, but last I heard, they were still pretty far off from their goal, right?
Really?
Yeah, they're at $51,000 right now, and
It's
Wow.
actually pretty good.
they have
Boy,
54
Shenmue
days
3
left.
kicked its ass.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, this is a site that is mostly renowned for its free content, right? So,
That's true,
Such
Yeah.
as viruses.
yeah, well, that's- in so many forms. Well, but I watched the Indiegogo pitch, and it's terrible. Like it's a very like hastily put together. I mean, just from a production standpoint, like if they, I mean,
Did you study a lot of production
Yes.
standpoints for comparison for science?
They have a pretty
from my
decent
days
set.
I
working
assume
in the
they're not-
valley, no.
They
I
or
assume they're
she?
not going to get like an Uta Hagen acting coach. as
That
part
would
of
be
their budget
awesome.
Either.
This guy is bad.
That would be.
He's terrible.
This is the creepiest guy in the whole video,
I
by the
know.
way. I don't know if
I
he's
don't even
real
want
or
to
an
show what
actor.
he's about to do.
Yeah. Oh, you can't show it? Okay. I was going to say, he just. I'll just say this. I know why they're at 50,000 because of that guy. They're like, everybody that
Mood
everybody
killer?
looked at it like, is he going to be in the movie? Well, I'm not giving money to that guy.
And-
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just logistically, I don't know. What are they gonna? They're gonna go to the space station, or I mean, it seems like it would probably have to be a suborbital flight, right? Which is, like a
That's the
Virgin
thing.
Galactic thing.
Yeah, Virgin Galactic.
Yeah.
This is a film. You don't need to put a lot of thought into preparations. That's why they think, oh, we can just give $3 million to some space company. That's probably what they call it. We'll give it to some space company, and they'll let us go into space. And no, there's like, to me, just I don't want to get too technical, but it's space, so liquids don't.
Yeah.
That something's like, can you Scotch guard a whole ship?
Basically, yeah, you're gonna need to.
Is my issue.
Yeah.
Kelsey, I
just-
think
I-
you said you had
I
three
feel
words for
sorry.
this.
Only if we're done. Are we done talking about it?
Oh,
This is my.
okay. You
Can we
want the
grow up?
last word? Okay. What were you saying, Danny?
No, I'm done. I was answering your question.
I think we're all done.
I think that's how the script ends.
I think humanity. No.
Okay,
I
I
think
can't even
humanity's
say what I was
done.
going to say then. What I was going to say was, so I have a forward review of this future movie if it ever gets made. Lacks realistic boob physics.
Yes.
And that is a video game segue to E3, Eric.
There you go. All right. Well, from our glorious future to space porn to what I mean. Let's just bring it down to video games. What's going on in E3?
There's like games and stuff.
There's lots of games.
Wait, E3 is beneath porn?
Judging by
trying to
my
bring it
Twitter
back
feed
up.
yesterday, E3 is porn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
porn for everyone I work with and me. So
There's some pretty excited people there.
It's porn that doesn't require Scotch guard.
Well, we do have at least a few space-related games that were introduced, I think, yesterday at E3 in LA. Starting with Star Wars Battlefront, which there's some
So
interesting things
excited.
going on with Han Solo's
Yeah.
wife and that. But here's the trailer.
Han
did you
Solo's wife?
have to bring us down right before this amazing trailer, Eric? Nobody think about Han Solo's wife for a second. Just look at this.
So excited for this. It's long though. We don't have to watch it.
Oh,
We
it's
can talk
first
about
person.
Yeah, well, this is supposed to be actual gameplay footage, right? Not just a trailer.
it. Yeah, this is gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a big difference there in terms of.
So it's Wolfenstein Star Wars. I like it.
Well, wait till they get outside, dude. I was saying on Twitter, I always forget that Star Wars is supposed to be about wars because I mostly remember a bunch of stealth missions, hiding, sneaking, flirting, that kind
I
of
have
thing.
I have the same thought about Star Trek. It's about trekking. And
There's a certain amount of trek.
I do.
So, I mean, at this point, how many Star Wars first-person shooters do we have? This can't be the first, obviously.
Oh God, no.
There's Knights of the one of the I
That's
think
not
either
a-
a one
no,
or all
no,
of the
no.
Knights of the Old Republic
No.
or Jedi
No.
Jedi Knight.
Dark Forces. That
one
was
I'm
like a
thinking.
long old time
Dark
ago.
Forces. There hasn't been one in a while, I don't think. I think
It's really-
Dark Forces was
Yeah,
the
I
last.
feel like it's just been Battlefront that I'm really aware of, the most popular one. And then there's the Force Unleashed, which I love. But you
Yeah.
have a sword the whole time.
Star Wars: The Old Republic has a minigame section called Galactic Starfighter that looks like it's just been completely eclipsed by this. Like anybody who wants to play this kind of thing is, I think, going to move over.
So why should I care about this one that was introduced yesterday as a total noob? Like, what's cool with this one?
Well, it's a new EA game, and it's Star Wars Battlefront,
Darth Vader's in
and
it.
it's 2015.
They're jetpacks.
Actual Luke Skywalker.
Oh
and
yeah,
Darth Vader.
there's jetpacks. Let's see,
There's
I'm gonna find the
stars and there's wars.
You can
Yeah.
apparently
else
blow
do
up
you
an
need?
AT-AT with a pistol, which is a bit of a shock.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
You got to hit it in just the right spot.
I don't know. I've
Oh
still
wait,
got
wait,
questions.
wait. Here we go. We're flying in a speeder here.
And it's gorgeous, Eric.
Oh my God, look at that.
Oh, and should we count Rebel Assault as a first person?
Yeah, that was you were in a
Yeah.
in this one of these, right?
Gorgeous.
Speeder.
Yeah, well, and a bunch of ships. but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and
So
during the
technically,
introduction,
throw an X thing.
they said that they got permission to use. Oh, don't point that. Go back. Look at the thing. Never mind. I'll stop talking.
I think it looks cool.
It looks totally fun. I mean, you know, it's gonna be really popular. I'm
I mean,
sure.
wonder why they haven't done it sooner.
They're probably timing
guess-
everything for the film to come out.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. All the merchandise. People are gonna get burned out on Star Wars before it comes out.
We've had people
That's-
say it already.
Yeah.
Well, I meant why you haven't done a first-person Star Wars game like this sooner. I mean, I know the film, you got to tie it to the film and merchandising and everything, but I mean, this to me looks like pretty much what they've been asking for. This
Yeah.
makes up for Bounty Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like Bounty Hunter?
No. I mean, I really wanted to like it, and then when it came out and I played it, I was like, I've never been more disappointed.
Holy crap. Battlefront
So
2
get it.
came out in 2005.
Wow, that's a long time.
Jeez
This is
Louise.
their E3 announcement yesterday. All the games coming out. All the Star Wars games
Yeah.
coming out.
Oh, Star Wars Uno is coming out.
Oh, they've already had that.
So
I can
Beecham,
guarantee it.
Well, but you don't have the new Star Wars.
Oh,
7
yeah,
yet.
yeah. They're going to have like Chrome cards and stuff.
Right.
had you not heard about Han Solo's wife?
I haven't heard about Han Solo's wife.
Well,
I keep my ears closed.
I regret to inform you that according to the new canon that they're doing now, which I'm going to say right here, I'm starting to reject the concept that they can decide what Star Wars canon is. For me, Star Wars canon is those first 3 movies, and I'm stopping there. Everything else is just an interesting idea.
Who's the they here? EA?
I think Disney?
Well, Disney
Okay.
owns it now, yeah.
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 So they threw out all the extended universe. That doesn't count anymore. But they're doing new canon now, and apparently these comic books they're doing now count as part of the Star Wars universe, which means that it is now canon truth that Han Solo was married at the time he met Princess Leia.
What?
And the two of them run into his wife later.
Wait. Was he married to Chewbacca?
No. Her name's Sana Solo, I believe, and they say she's human in the wiki, though she looks like a cat there to me. But anyway, so she hates him. She's a bitter ex, basically, only they're still married, and she's tracking him down. And he's being kind of
Oh,
hostile
so they're
about
pulling
it.
a Blues Brothers?
Anyway, it's all very depressing, and I reject it, frankly. I got drunk
that's
that
creepy.
night.
I have to stop. That's creepy because Carrie Fisher was John Belushi's crazed ex in the Blues Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
So is the whole movie going to be like Chewbacca and
They're
Han
gonna-
Solo in a phone booth, and then Carrie Fisher walks in with a flamethrower?
They're going to drive through a mall at some point.
Right.
let's hope so.
I mean,
That-
that's...
These sound like
That
home
sounds
movies.
they ripped
Yeah.
that
This
off.
is like Carrie Fisher's home movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But no.
that's
Which
weird.
Which
Okay.
could be quite interesting based on her memoir that came out a few years back.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
guys read any of that?
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh
great.
yeah.
She's really
Is that
interesting.
wishful drinking or
Yeah.
No, Postcards from the Edge? Yeah. Sorry.
By the way, that jetpack gameplay looked amazing.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that Battlefront
See?
Me and
2?
Jeff were
Jetpacks.
talking about when we first were watching
Yeah.
it. We're like, they have jetpacks.
It
I'm
looks
gonna
like
buy it.
it looks like they're gonna have jetpacks in Mass Effect 4
Let me
too.
find a jetpack here. Hang on,
And
hang on.
at some point, Admiral Akbar talks to you and
Oh,
does
yeah.
not say that it's a trap.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
did see that. Aw.
You say it's an
Well,
ambush.
what's the point?
Yeah. It's a situation where they unexpectedly got... Yeah.
It's a sneak attack.
It's a quagmire.
Yeah.
It's funny that
Giggity, giggity.
I play Star Wars: The Old Republic, and somebody makes an "It's a trap" joke like every single night and has done for the last couple of years. No one ever gets tired of that one.
me, It's a Trap is the new Was Up. Honestly, it was funny when Robot Chicken did it. And
I
then,
gotta see it. I gotta see it.
There he is.
There's
Yeah.
Admiral Akbar. What does he say?
We've located your crash site, but it looks like the Empire will reach you first. Prepare to defend yourselves until we can get there.
That sounds like a longer way of saying it's a
Yeah,
trap.
it's a long way of saying it.
Oh, I think they're there already,
Around it.
waiting for you. They're gonna shoot at you
a lot of adverb.
unexpectedly, but it's not a trap.
Okay, watch this. Jetpack.
Yeah.
So there
See,
is some
that sold me right
That's
there.
I'm sold too. Yeah.
You can do that in
I
Star
will
Wars:
be
The Old
buying
Republic.
my game.
Bounty Hunter
Alright.
has a move called Death from Above, where you go up in a jetpack and then you fire down into it.
See,
Yeah.
I know I gotta play that again.
Bounty Hunter on a GameCube. I still have it on GameCube.
Yeah, me too. Well, my son has it.
Oh, cool.
Sometimes he lets me play it. I have to ask nicely.
He's not actually kidding about that.
No, I'm not.
No.
He commandeered all of my old consoles.
Wow.
So,
That's a whole other show.
Yeah.
Right there.
so another game from E3, Mass Effect Andromeda. Anyone follow this one?
So am I the biggest Mass Effect fan here or no?
Yeah.
I'm thinking you are, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Here.
You have to check
No,
it, right?
it's so
Yeah.
unimportant. Carry on. Show the thing. Yeah. So basically, this is set after the controversial end of Mass Effect 3. I think long after, and it's definitely not starring Shepard for obvious reasons. They're in a new.
Is that Johnny Cash?
This music selection kind of.
It is in fact Johnny
Weird.
Cash. They credited it at the bottom.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's
So
the significance of the music selection?
I
for
think
the
it's
trailer?
because it's a wild frontier. Like you're in a new galaxy, you're exploring. But you know,
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't really get very much from this trailer except that it's supposed to look gorgeous and there will be jetpacks. And you're still in N7. There's a close up. There's a close up on the shirt. You're still in N7, but you know why they haven't really told us yet who we're supposed to care about or why or what's going on. It's just sort of another Mass Effect game.
Like, it's Mass Effect. We
Still
have
gun on the tool.
planets and a
And
gun.
so it's just-
here we go.
Boom!
Just shows up at a planet, pulls out his gun.
So, yep, I'm done here.
Yeah. So
I'm going to shoot the universe.
there we see.
Okay, there you go.
Limited jetpacking.
I'd still take limited jetpack.
That's not the main character, they said, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said more on
Oh.
that later. So I don't know why they chose to feature
Oh,
this.
that's a cool jetpack move right there.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, sometimes, you know, you get up near the top of the stairs, you're just like, oh, jeez, you know, just need that little extra boost to get you all the way up.
Exactly. This is the
Yeah.
boost and punch type of jetpack rather than the flying type
Yeah.
of jetpack, which I think is
I think it's more practical. Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
None of that was gameplay, was it?
No, that was a
it looked
trailer.
all rendered.
Okay.
that
Yeah.
was a trailer. Yeah. They say they're using the engine that they're planning to use in the game, and wait, it was something funny. It's like this represents their goal for the gameplay, which
Yeah.
tells you.
But it means that, like, after
In other
people
words-
hack
in
the
other words,
crap
way
out of
back.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And modify it.
It's actually a 16-bit game, but if they could do that, they would.
Mass Effect 8-bit cinema.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Does that exist yet?
It should.
Ask Michael Franco.
Yeah.
I feel like I can remember some ads like back in the 90s for like Nintendo, Super Nintendo games where they had like, you know, movie cinematic quality trailers and then and then there's no indication of, you know, what the actual 16-bit is going to look like. And
Well, even
I remember
like with-
being very disappointed.
Like the old
Yeah.
Atari games, if you looked at like the cover art on those, it was
Right.
like amazing. It was like, oh my god, you have like this magic wand and you're like getting rid of it, and then like, you know, you're a square.
Or Barbies.
Yeah.
Actual Barbie, drawing of Barbie.
Yeah.
That was so relevant, everyone.
Pitfall
Actually,
Harry doesn't even
now
have
that
a face.
Her hair doesn't float.
Now that I think of it,
Dazzler.
the only game that doesn't work that way is the original Mega Man, because the cover art was so bad. It's like, well, the game's got to be awesome. They clearly didn't hire a good artist.
That's true.
I don't know, man.
You
Some of
remember-
the Pac-Man covers,
the cover.
creepy looking, like for reals. Like
Don't want
it
to
has
set
feet.
expectations low.
Yeah, that's what's different about today's gamer. Today's gamer, you look at a trailer like that, and you're like, oh, the game could be this awesome. But when we were kids, you'd see like the Super Nintendo commercial, and you're like, I'm gonna get to do that, and then you play the game, and it's two dots fighting a square. So, when you think about it, we had to.
I
we
would,
had to
you know
learn
what?
a
I'm
hard
surprised that's
lesson.
not a game right now. Two dots fighting a square.
Two dots
I can
fighting-
see that on Steam.
Cuphead.
I'm launching an Indiegogo for it. Actually,
There you go. Bet you it'll go
2
faster than that movie.
2 dots in the square. If it doesn't work as a game, it'll work as a
2
80
dots,
sitcom.
1 square.
ABC sitcom.
I'm the
2 dots,
square.
1 square, and a pizza place. Coming this fall to ABC.
So before we started the show, we started talking about all these games coming out at E3, and Steven then feverishly loaded every trailer that he could. So now that we got a couple of minutes left, what announcement out of E3, space related or not, is most exciting, so that Steven can play some of the trailers?
We saw the. I'm just gonna talk about this HoloLens.
Oh
thing.
God.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Minecraft
Oh, my God.
HoloLens thing is so cool. So
This is
the HoloLens is this piece of gear you wear on your head. You wear like glasses, right? And it's made by Microsoft. And they did a really cool demo of it at E3. And
It's
basically-
augmented reality.
Oh,
Yeah,
this,
look at
this
this
was the
thing.
Minecraft thing.
Yeah, it's
This
so
was the
cool.
Minecraft thing. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, imagine having a Mario level on your table. Let me just fast forward it here real quick. So, they
So
have
this is
Well,
like
not-
this is kind of like Microsoft's Google Glass, but they designed it for things that
yeah.
make sense.
Yeah, it's like a hologram VR kind of thing. So, watch, they put this level
Nice.
into this table here, and this is the coolest thing ever. Now, I would play
Yeah.
Mario like this. I would stand at a table and play Mario like this.
Wow.
so. What I picture this for is D&D. Like that guy's
Yeah.
the dungeon master.
Yeah.
You're the helpless little person walking around, and he starts destroying stuff all around you.
Which is like lightning strike, magic missile.
So she's playing the game holding a tablet, and that's her character in the game right there.
Yeah.
His voice
Yeah.
and his hands.
It's so
You
cool.
can walk
I mean,
around
just
the
imagine.
hologram, pan around for different
I mean,
viewpoints,
people
and even
making
look
games could use
inside.
this too.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
It'd be so easy.
The Sims God mode.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Follow
Yeah.
player. I can zoom in and out for a better perspective. Closer.
Of course, the
All
sad
the
part
way
is somebody's going to use this to
Close
make an adult film.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
I'm hopping in
It's-
a minecart.
Stay on that beat, Danny.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here, really.
I went to a talk on hacking the Kinect to do porn one time. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago too. So
I mean, yeah, there's Oculus Rift. There's all kinds of porn. Oculus Rift. They always innovate.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
a lot of money.
So wait, are they moving the table or just moving around?
I think they are. He is moving the table. See how he grabs it and he's pulling it around?
Yeah,
He's pulling the
he's
level
moving-
around.
Oh no, I see. He's pulling the level around. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, none of this is really happening.
That is so weird.
So again,
So
when you
neat.
buy this, it'll be just 16-bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
they're gonna do the part where they lift it up now and show
Oh
you the,
yeah, that would come in very handy.
Lift it up.
'cause it tells you where you can dig for resources and stuff. And then there's this whole underground.
So
Oh,
cool.
look at that. That's so
Huge
cool.
stronghold right underneath. I'm gonna
So it
mark
kind of
it.
reminds me of Jurassic World when, you know, there's all those holograms of dinosaurs in,
Oh,
in
yeah.
the visitor
I
center.
see it. I'm on my way there now.
And, you know, it just would be such a cool learning tool.
I'm blazing some TNT so I
That's an
can
awful
blow my
lot
way
of
into
TNT.
this
I'm
stronghold.
just-
I know.
I could use a light those
Like
down.
really, you need 16 blocks.
Good strategy.
She's not worried about conserving resources.
HoloLens. I've
'Cause it's a
access to
demo.
all
Oh wait,
console
16,
commands in
17,
Minecraft.
18, 19.
I think they
Just
need
using
better
my
sound
voice.
effects for this Minecraft game. Though.
I can just focus my gaze.
Do
to
the
TNT
do the
and say,
users program
lightning
the sound
strike.
effects, or how does that work?
No, it comes with. I mean, you can get.
Step back.
I know somebody has like done like mods and stuff where you can like
Whoa.
somebody added like
There's a
8-bit
lot of materials
sounds,
down there I wouldn't have seen
so
in
it
the
actually will
book.
sound like an Atari game when you're
One
like
more thing I wanna do
shooting
with lightning.
creepers and stuff.
Pig pen over here.
Um,
I think the pigs need an upgrade.
I'm pretty
Lightning
sure you
strike.
can change the sounds if you want.
Does he just what?
There you have it.
He just
Zombie
did a
pigman.
lightning strike on the pig to make it a zombie pig man,
Oh,
like you do.
I see.
Oh, we lost Eric. I didn't
Uh-oh.
even know.
I'm still
Oh,
I'm
he's
still here.
there.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just having video issues. Well, that's about all the time that we have. Do we have one more awesome trailer or anything that we want to go out on?
Well, everyone's really excited about the Last Guardian game. I don't know much about it, but do you guys know anything about it? The Last
Oh yeah,
Guardian?
this is one that's been like in development hell
For like forever.
a millennium.
Yeah.
It was kind of a big surprise yesterday.
Uh,
Everyone's like, "Oh
The
my
Sony
god!"
game.
Yeah, I read an article last year where someone was saying, this is never going to happen. We should all just accept that, and here's why that's okay.
Yeah.
But then it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what is this game about? I don't even know.
Probably about
The
60
Guy
bucks.
who he's the last guy. He's a guardian. What
He's a
about-
guardian. He's
And
the
there's a
he's
lot
the
of,
last
people
guardian.
involved. Here we go.
He's
By the way,
got
is
this-
the necessary when you say last? I mean,
in
just
what sense?
curious.
As opposed to
I mean,
a
if
last
you're
guardian.
if you're last,
It's grammar time on the
you're one.
CraveCast.
So yeah.
Oh my God, are there shirts that say "Stop Grammar Time"?
I'm sure there are.
There have to be.
Mm.
So this trailer made Scott Stein very sad.
Because he's all by himself.
No, he's not by himself. That's the thing. He's got this friend who may be dying.
It's a Chihuahua raptor.
It's kind of clumsy.
Scott called it a giant puppy dragon, but Chihuahua raptor works too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're friends, and apparently it's all very tragic. Aw. Okay, I'm
He's a
grounding
cat.
myself.
He's part cat because he's purring.
Does he have emerald horns?
Yes.
Or at least horn nubs.
Horn nubs?
Anyway, so this was just a gameplay demo, huh?
You know,
I don't know anything about this game. It looks like a little guy. He looks.
Yeah, all I've known is that it's been in the works forever.
This
I'm
looks
sorry
like
to say.
this looks like high definition Monument Valley on acid.
Yeah. I keep thinking of like the Never-Ending Story.
yeah.
yeah.
So it
Yeah.
is supposed to be sad and touching and that kind of thing, which I was wondering if it was based on The Last Unicorn in a way, actually.
Oh
for that.
yeah.
But obviously
Or
not.
if George R. R. Martin wrote Pete's Dragon.
Did you read
Look
that?
what's happened to Passamaquoddy.
Did you read that interview where George Martin, he was saying that when he read the Lord of the Rings trilogy, he thought that Tolkien's plan was to pick all the characters off one by one, and he genuinely thought Frodo was dead when Shelob stung him. I think that really tells you something about his mind and the kind of stories he writes.
I think so.
I know that's
It's
off
funny,
topic, but I just wanted to
Object permanence.
get that.
It's
out there.
funny, we were going to talk about Game of Thrones last night, and so last night I watched the finale, and that was my first Game of Thrones episode ever.
How you feeling?
And the only I enjoyed it, but it was funny because the only preparation that any of my friends ever gave to me was, he says, the first thing you need to know about Game of Thrones is that George R. R. Martin is a cruel bastard. and so I went into it with that, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much.
Did it make any sense to you?
No, because I didn't know any of the characters, or I mean, I know Jon Snow. Jon Snow? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
God, I look like such a moron right now. I know about Jon. I look like my dad. Trying to get in. So I know about Jon Snow. But that was the weird part, was knowing that I kind of, I could see a certain moment coming, but it still was like, oh, that was. If I'd been up to this point, I'd probably be crying right now. But no, it was, yeah. So that was my George R. R. Martin story.
Yeah, I do think if George R. R. Martin were in charge of the Lord of the Rings universe, that the Hobbit race would be extinct by now. I think that would probably be the way he would handle it.
Unquestionably. Eowyn would be raped and then dead.
Frodo's head would be on a stick somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, that's the CraveCast for
There's your
today.
episode title.
Yeah.
Well,
Frodo's head on a stick? Yeah, I like that.
Frodo's head
CNET
on a
does
stick
have
somewhere.
tons of E3 coverage going on right now and all
Tons of
week,
it.
so be sure to check out CNET.com for all that. And you can also go to CNET.com/Crave to find the stories that we've talked about today, including my space story and Danny's space porn story. So there's really something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
As always, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Crave, and I'm at Eric C. Mack. And you can tune into us next month. So for Kelsey Adams and Jeff Sparkman and Stephen Beecham and Danny Gallagher and the recuperating Bonnie Burton. We miss you, Bonnie.
Hi,
We
Bonnie.
hope you feel better, and we hope we
Bye,
see you
Bonnie.
next month. And thanks for watching.